Hello, this is Jim Pytel from Columbia Gorge Community College Renewable Energy Technology Program. Okay, today we're going to discuss in a little bit more detail the ripple versus look-ahead adders. If you remember our last discussion with adders, I just said, okay, look-aheads, just look ahead. And I know that some of you guys out there in Nerdland were just like, oh my gosh, tell me how, tell me how, tell me how. Okay, here it is. This is how it's done. Okay, so ripple. We already talked about ripple adders, basically where the this guy's carry out is feeding this guy's carry in, and so that means this guy's sum and this guy's carry out can't be produced until this carry in arrives. So we need to talk about basically well, the effects of that is basically a propagation delay. You have this, the first adder feeding the second stage is a delay, it feeds the third stage, which is a delay, and on and on and on. Basically, you get a cumulative delay. Just keep on adding, and the more and more bits you got, the slower it's going to be. So how do we get around this? What we have is look-ahead adders. When I talked about it earlier, it's talking about this adder looking as what's coming in prior to. And basically what I was talking about is basically it anticipates the output carry of the previous stage. Uh, and basically, and it can generate and produce its own output carry by one of two methods. First is carry generation. So this is for look ahead. We already talked about ripple. So look ahead, basically it's going to anticipate your output carry of your previous stage, and it's going to generate the output carry using carry generation and carry propagation. Oops. Let's try that again. Carry propagation, carry generation. So first off, carry generation. The carry out can be generated internally by the full adder. This occurs when A and B are both 1. So that's basically carry generation. It's CG, the generated carry, is produced internally to this stage. We're talking about this adder. It's produced internally to that adder if A and B are both 1. So what you get is A and B. That's internal to that adder stage. Okay, carry propagation, the propagated carry, is dependent upon the previous stage. Actually, here, excuse me, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Okay, carry propagation is generated also internally by that full adder, by that stage's full adder, when A or B are 1, and it's going to have effect on the ripple. You'll see in the end here. So basically, carry in is rippled carry out if either A or B are 1, so you can get, yeah, A or B, already said it, A or B. So how do these two terms relate to the actual carry out? Well, carry out, which is the carry in for the next stage, so this guy right here, the carry out is going to be the carry generated, which is this guy right here, or it's going to be the carry propagated, which is that guy, and carry when carry in is equal to 1. So basically, carry out is a 1 if it's generated internally, that guy, or if it's going to ripple through, and that ripple happens to be 1. Dig it? So that's what a look ahead, that's the basics of a look ahead adder. And I'll show you how they're hooked up here. So remember, the carry out, it's dependent on generated internally, the propagation, and what's coming into it. So there's 3 things. Okay, so when you're going to hook it up here, let's actually just go ahead and reuse this diagram right here. Okay, so this stage's output, the C out here, is this stage's carry in. No big surprise there. Actually, I'm going to get rid of this for now, which is, I set it up properly, but yeah, you should know that the first stage's carry in should be grounded, but I'm just going to remove that for a second. Okay, so this stage's carry out is the second stage's carry in. So according to our rules, which we had over here, so that C out for stage 1 is going to be equal to the carry generated by stage 1 or the carry propagated and the carry in of the first stage. No big jump right there. But now that carry out 1 is the carry in for 2. Dig? Okay, so now this one's carry out, stage 2's. What is stage 2's carry out? Well, stage 2's carry out, C out 2. So if we use the formula that we had earlier, so carry generated by stage 2 or carry propagated by stage 2 equal to the carry, and the carry in of 2, that's what your carry out for stage 2 is. But this guy right here could be